I grew up around here before I went to around gangs. You know what I mean? I grew up around the mob. You know what I mean? I was used to that environment, to that ugly environment, to that bad waiter. I was in Wellington at the time. I was in we're in E Block. We're in punishment, bruv. So I got out from punishment. I was with the OC. I was with the OC boys. Over here, it's different to Australia. You know what I mean? I guess the gangs, bruv. It's the gangs. The gangs are real. Really tired, bro. I'm drained. I want to try and start living a normal life, I guess.
All that talk to my gang pull up, and we pull up and they all dip.
Dear Heavenly Father, please watch over me and the brother Richy here, and let us be fruitful, and watch over all of the brothers and sisters watching as well. All in Jesus' name. Amen. Alright, my brother, so how about you introduce yourself, man, and where you're from?
My name's Richard Macaulay. Some know me as Rich Dog or Rehabilitation. I was born in Rotorua, raised in Te Tiko, come from a little village called Te Mahui, Matahina, and from Waiohau. You know what I mean, bro? So, yeah.
Nice. All right, man. Well, brother Richy, man, thanks for jumping on, man. How's your day going anyway, bro? Welcome to the show.
Brother, it's quite miserable, bro. The weather over here is quite shocking at the moment, you know. So we're all cooped up inside. It's been cold here, but I guess the rain brings the warmth in New Zealand, brother. I'm still trying to adapt to this climate over here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but I know what you mean. All right, bro. But yeah, it's looking a bit muggy here in Aotearoa, man. That's for sure. But brother Richy, man, thanks for jumping on the show, brother. So
thank you, bro. Thank you. It's an honor and a pleasure, bro, to be on your show. Yeah, I'll just take this time, bro, to thank you, bro. Giving people like us, bro. Everyone's got a story. You give us that chance to speak out. You know what I mean? And hopefully, through what we've been through, we can translate it and make a positive out of it, bro, and helping other people, I guess. So that's what we're trying to accomplish.
We all on that same mission, brother. That's why I love being in this position, man, getting brothers and sisters on the show, man, because yeah, we're all fighting that same battle, bro, 100% on that. Yeah, so the brother Richy here, man, he's doing well at the moment. You know, he's getting into, you know, the whole mental health stuff and keeping up with the fitness and things like that. So you know, that's good to see. Obviously, you know, the brother's been through a little bit to be on the show, you know what I mean? So he's a fellow 501 deportee like myself.
Yes, bro. Thank you.
Yeah, so he moved over to Australia back in 2008. And yeah, sort of went to Sydney, went through Canberra and things like that, which we will go into and things like that. Brother, to start us off, man, so born in Vegas, was it, bro? Grew up there originally?
Yes, bro. Yeah, I was born in Rotorua, bro. I was raised in Te Tiko. So Te Tiko's only a little town, bro. Like only few will hear of it, bro. You drive through it, if you blink, you're gonna miss it. You know what I mean? It's only a little town. We grew up riding our horses, things like that, living the normal life, sort of, bro. Pig hunting, and yeah,
Yeah.
Same old, and I guess we ended up getting sent over to Australia at a young age, bro, and that was for the same thing, bro. I was a troubled child, and got sent over to Australia at a young age, and I guess we just after I think 12 years, bro, we've just come back deported home. So that's where all these changes are trying to come into play, I guess. But I moved over when I left New Zealand. I got sent over to Perth. Western Australia. I lived over there for 7 years, bro, not even. I lived over there for a few years, bro. I couldn't even tell you how long. I was 15. Ended up turned 16, bro. I had a job and everything, bro. I was doing my butcher's apprenticeship at 16 years old. I ended up losing that, bro. I ended up in juvenile. Ended up experiencing what getting locked up was. And I guess that's where the whole spiral took place from there, bro. So,
well, how was it for you, man, walking into juvie and that? So was that in Perth or?
That was in Western Australia, bro. That was for me. It was different, bro. It was different for me walking into the correctional system for the first time, bro. As a child, I was 16 years old, and at 16 years old, bro, I was probably not so much smaller than what I am now. I walked into the correctional centre, bro, and bro, they ended up taking me out of my room my first night there, and I ended up going around the whole unit, bro, with the because they deliver, one of the boys deliver your jail dinners to the doors. So that was me, bro, because they were trying to sort of make me fit and comfortable, because it was just all Aboriginals, bro, just all Noongas, like you know what I mean? They're the real spiritual Aboriginals, those Noongar fellas, and it was quite freaky for me, bro, because I was the only Māori or Pacific Islander who was in this place at the time, bro. So it was an experience for me.
So yeah, bro, that would have been a trip out going in there.
Bro, it was, bruv, and I think the second day, bruv, I had seen there was 4 or 5 of them, bruv, had climbed up onto the aircons, up onto the roof, bruv, and they were like smoking cones and shit. So that was my second day experience in there, you know what I mean? And then after that, bruv, you start getting amongst it, you know what I mean? And yeah. And
what was that facility called, bro?
A Bankshire. It was called Bankshire, bruv. It was only a young juvenile. It was a young juvenile centre, like a bit of a boys' centre, bruv. Yeah.
So how was it for you when you got out of there, my bro?
I got
did you go back to Mahi, or did you go back to the butcher?
No, after that, bruv, that's sort of when my whole spiral started, bruv. I experienced being homeless in another country as a child. Just everything, bruv, sort of all went from there. And
but there's a few Māoris over in Perth and that.
There is a lot, bruv. There is a lot, and through this homeless experience that I had gone through over there, bro, I did meet a lot of beautiful Māori people, bruv, and they are more than happy to take on anyone. And unfortunately, bruv, over in Australia, there was a lot of Māori kids my age who was in the same situation, bruv, like just sort of sleeping here, there, on beaches. So you all sort of just meet up, bruv, and you sort of just all start doing it together, bruv, and it's sort of thing, bruv. And then I turned 18, bruv, and then that's when the jail started getting real, you know what I mean? That's when the crime started to getting a bit more hectic, things like that. So
yeah. No, I definitely feel your story, brother. I mean, it's similar for me, bro. You know, moving to Melbourne and that, you know, end up homeless and all of that. And unfortunately, there are a lot of other Polynesian kids, man. You know what I mean, hanging at the train stations and doing that sort of stuff, man. So you sort of you all end up clicking up and all of that. All right, man. So then you ended up turning 18, bro. Crimes ended up getting a bit more hectic in that. So, I mean, so what happened? Like for in life during this time, bro? Like, so did you end up? So what, you ended up moving to Sydney? Or were you still in Western Australia?
No, I was 17. I was 17. I had moved over to Sydney, bro. This was still homeless, bro. Still just couch surfing, sleeping here and there.
So you just wound up in Sydney, huh?
I'd sort of rung my mum, but I've sort of had called my mum because I sort of only just spoke to my family every now and then, you know what I mean? I didn't want them to really know my whole situation and what was going on over there. They sort of sent me over there to better myself, you know what I mean, bro? And I guess I just had enough of it, brother. As a kid, experiencing all of that, brother, I sort of had enough of it. I reached out to my mum. My mum had sort of told me that my older brother, this is my oldest brother, and me and my oldest brother are really close, bro. He had moved over to Sydney. So that's how I ended up in Sydney, bro. You know what I mean? I moved my oldest brother sort of took me in. I stayed with him, bro, and they ended up moving home. Him, his partner, and his kids, they ended up moving home, bro, and I ended up getting locked up, bruv, 18 years old, bruv. I got locked up, and that's when I first experienced jail. It's different, bruv, you know what I mean? I can speak in from walking into it over here in New Zealand and over there in Australia. Over there, it's I guess just going through reception, going through all of that is the hard bit. But once you get back to the units or to the pods, you know what I mean? It's all the boys, bruv. You know what I mean? It's all the Islander boys, all the Māori boys. You get along with everyone. So I guess in saying, bruv, like your first experience, my first experience in jail, bruv, it wasn't too bad. I trained, you know what I mean? You got to adapt to it, bruv. You got to adapt to it. I mean, before I went over there, bruv, like I grew up around here before I went around gangs. You know what I mean? I grew up around the mob. Just simple, plain and simple as that. That's not even trying to sugarcoat anything, you know what I mean, bruv? I grew up straight around mob. It's just fully mob-gated around here, and me moving over there, going through there, it was sort of, you know, I was used to that environment, to that ugly environment, to that bad wairua, but bruv, and then in saying that, you meet a lot of beautiful people, some of the most beautifulest people I have met in there, you know what I mean, and some of my closest brothers I will call today brothers that I have met in there, bruv, and have got out, bruv, and are sort of still on that same path.
Yeah,
So,
100%, bro. You make some lifelong bonds inside that place, bro. You know, similar to when soldiers go to war, bro. I'm not trying to make it sound similar, but it's similar in the way that they build lifelong bonds in those trenches, bro. You know what I mean? When you're faced with adversity in some dark places, the people that you're there with, you form lifelong bonds with, bro. So also, what sort of progress from there, bro? Like, did you end up getting out? Like, how long did you end up doing the first time, or?
The first time I done 7 months. I done 7 months. In that 7 months, brother, I was just a random bed replacement because you're remanded. So I ended up at 6 different jails in that 7 months. I had got out for after that, brother. I had got out after serving my first 7 months. I got out for might have been 5 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks or something. I ended up locked back up, brother, for another 10 months, and this is when the whole roller coaster just sort of went out of control, brother. Every time I got out, we were just sort of bumping up all the time. 3 different states. I was locked up: Western Australia, New South Wales, and Canberra, ACT. All going through all of that, bro. So I guess it's sort of time to start making changes, bruv. To be locked up back in New Zealand, bruv. Sorry, I won't leave that out. To be locked up here again. So and now I'm on home detention on the bracelet. So I served 10 months, bruv. I got out, and that was the same thing. I served 10 months, got out. Might be another 2 months or something, bruv. I ended up getting locked back up again, remanded, getting sentenced. I got sentenced to something. I served 25 months, bruv, 25 months. Then I got my parole. I got back out, moved down Canberra. I was out for another five weeks, and then I ended up getting locked back up there, sentenced. I was sentenced to 27 months down there, and I had to serve 19 months out of that 27, bruv. So, and then sent to Villawood and then deported home back to New Zealand.
Well, then you've ended up getting deported, bro. So you went to Villawood and that. So how was it sort of sitting in there, bro, and then, waiting to head back? Did you end up signing your papers to come back? And
bro, I sort of just signed my papers straight away. Just I had already gone through immigration. I had already beaten it before, and when I had beaten it, bro, it was never heard of. You know what I mean? I beat immigration 2018, and there was not. I was in Wellington at the time. I was we're in E Block. We're in punishment, bruv. So I got out from punishment. Because I was with the OC. I was with the OC boys. I will forever have love for the OC boys, for my outcast brethren, and they were my family away from my family. You know what I mean? That sort of started for us 2016, bro. So my brother. Not my biological brother, but my brother is Cookie, and he's always featured from Mussy and Local in them, and that's how it sort of come about, bro. We just sort of had met the boys 2016, and the boys were older. We were the younger boys, you know what I mean. Back then we were only 18. And they were the boys, bro, that made us feel comfortable. They were the boys that in the place and in the environment, bruv, was made it. It's not even wrong in saying it, bruv. You feel comfortable. You know what I mean? It's sort of thing. So, but that's when it all started for me, bro. There's just that the whole journey with the boys. But we were like the mischief bunch. You know what I mean? Mussy Thomas Vandermeer, Mussy Rook. Like, he was another one of our big brothers, you know what I mean? But because he was doing his 5 years segregation at the time, only contact we had through him, bro, was either through jail mails, or you know what I mean? Or if you're in a unit that's close to segregation, where you can call out to him out the window and communicate that way. And that was sort of how that was our way of communication with Mussy, you know what I mean? With Mussy Rook. Franny Luko, they're all our older boys, you know what I mean? They're all our founders. They sort of founded OC, Alcaz, the whole 3027. They're our older boys, so you know we'll forever have love for our older boys. For them to show all us younger boys love like that in a whole prison environment, it's a wicked feeling, bro. It's a it's a feeling you can't explain sometimes, you know what I mean? And it was bad, boy. It was bad, but it was good. You know what I mean? Some of the shit I experienced in jail, just with in myself, that we done, myself and some of the brethren's, bruv, was you know what I mean? That's the kind of shit you see in Hollywood movies and shit like that. So it was good, boy, and that's why I guess that's where all of this whole change comes about. I guess, boy. I guess you get. Yeah, bro, you get tired. I think you get tired, bro, because I'm plain and simply tired, but I'm drained. I want to try and start living a normal life, I guess. And
Oh, brother, I'm honestly wrapped for you, bro. Straight up, man. Like, bro, like you said before, bro, meet a lot of good fellas in jail, man. You know what I mean? Meet a lot of good blokes in there that are just victims to circumstance, man. You know, just
yeah,
victims to
bro,
the
yeah.
victims to the hands that we're dealt, bro. Yeah. I guess from there, man. So you've ended up getting deported, my bro. So how was that for you, man? Coming back here.
Bruv, I've only just made peace with it. I've only just accepted being home. These
Yeah,
last
so
2
you were
weeks.
gutted. So it was pretty tough coming back, was it?
Wow, it is wicked, bruv. Especially, you know what I mean. Especially after going through after all of that, you know what I mean. Over in Australia, you can go through all that jail, bruv. It's not hard to get out and build yourself up again. You know what I mean. It's not hard at all. That is the perk about being over there, bruv. Eh? It's all about pulling your head out of your ass sometimes. But coming home's a whole different ball game. I guess it's a whole different setback, brother. It's like sort of where I am. I'm located like pretty much out in the bush, bro. Like I'm in a little village, like a one way in, one way out in the bush sort of thing. You know what I mean? So it's a bit hard for me. I've lost my license, things like that, just due to all these. I whacked up some new charges, but I whacked up a few more charges when I got home from New Zealand, and I had whacked up these charges, bruv. Just I guess going through that process of being home, you know what I mean? It was hard, bruv. I just didn't accept it. I didn't like it at all. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
Bruv, you know what I mean? Everyone I meet, I say I'm Aussie, bruv. Hey, where you from? Aussie. Straight up, I'm playing. Bruv, everyone hates it around here. They hate it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's tough here, bro.
You know,
No, like, bro, I feel you, man. Bro, when I came back here, bro, I was hating it. Like I couldn't, like, bro, because I never thought I'd come back here. You know what I mean, bro? Like when I came back here, never in a million years that I've ever think that I'll step foot back in this country. You know what I mean? Never in a million years. And then, like, because I have mates over here as well, who've also been deported, bro. It's the same with everyone. Like, no one wants to be here, bro. Same thing, bro. Where you from, Aussie? You know what I mean, bro? From Australia.
yes, my
So
brother.
it's
Yeah,
so tough here, bro. Like, bro, I mean, so you've experienced the prison system here. I've never been to prison here, but I got mates who have, and even just the way that they support you here, bro. It's just, bro, they don't do much, man. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you said,
Money, bruv.
In
Money.
Oz, like, fair enough, bro. You know what I mean? You do get caught in the cycle there, but if you do pull your head out, it's easier. So how was it for you, man? Like, so obviously, you know, it was tough coming back here, brother. I mean, me myself, bro, I'm lucky that like, I got into crazy stuff when I came back here too, just out of anger. I was just lucky I didn't get pinched for nothing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So, I mean,
yeah.
so how was it for you, bro? You know what I mean? Like, well, how long were you out for when you came back, my bro?
Oh, fucking hell. I think it might have been. Oh, no, actually, I was out for a bit, bro. But a bit might have been a good 14, might have been just over a good, might have been a year and a half or something, brother. I was out for.
So the
And,
longest you've been out. So that was the longest.
yes, bruv, this is the long. So I got locked up. Yeah, last year December. I got locked up for 3 months. So in that time from 2020 till then, bruv, yeah, it's my longest period of time. I've been out for a long time, bruv. Yeah.
Yeah. So how was it, man, entering the system over here, bro?
It was different, brother. It was a whole lot different. You know what I mean? It's different, brother. It's different. You know what I mean? It's the boys. It's the boys that make the jail. It's not the jail that makes the boys. It's the boys that make the jail. You know what I mean? Over here, it's different to Australia. You know what I mean? I guess in saying everyone in Australia is very brother orientated. Really have morals. There's none of this fucking showing each other, you know what I mean? None of this standing over for nothing, you know what I mean? You don't, that's a real thing you see over there, where you come back here, bruv, and it's absolutely shocking over here. You know what I mean? You get the most weakest, bruv, who are just not built for the jail system, getting stood over, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? All that kind of happening. You know what I mean? And it's always to the weakest, you know what I mean, bruv? It's just plain and simple as that. I'm not even sugarcoating anything. You know what I mean? Where you see the weak over in Australia getting picked on, it's us going over there to pick on the picker who's picking on, you know what I mean, sort of thing. And I guess that's the whole difference around here, bruv. It's being locked up over here. It's I guess the gangs, bruv, it's the gangs. The gangs are real. The gangs. There ain't no mistake in the gangs, bruv. The gangs over here, they're foul. They're bad. They're bad to the bone, bruv. They run the system over here. You know what I mean? Everywhere, every jail, this is what I'm assuming, bruv. I only went to Spring Hill. I was only locked up in Spring Hill. Every direction you look is some fouled up, handsome looking mongrel. You know what I mean? Just some plain and simple as that, bruv. It's just barking going on all over the place. It's just very mongolism. So you either adapt to it, bruv, or it's gonna really run you over in there. So it's a whole different ball game to Australia.
I've heard similar things, bro, for the brothers that have come over here and gotten locked up in that, bro. I heard it's big difference. Yeah, big difference of the politics and all of that, bro. It's rules and that regulations are different, you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's above it. It's a disgusting environment over here, especially for us coming from Australia, bruv, being in mainstream with rapists and things like that, bruv. You know what I mean? That's a whole new ball game you got to get used to. Where you know what happens to kids like that over in Australia, bruv. They get wheeled out or flown out on a helicopter. So that's another thing, bruv. You are surrounded by these people, and that's their charges. It's just plain and simple as that, bruv. And how are you meant to make peace with that? And that's what I couldn't, bruv. I couldn't make sense of it. You know what I mean? I couldn't make an absolute sense of it, my brother. Just I guess coming from where we just come from, and
Yeah. Well, so how did you sort of get through your time, man? How did that sort of progress? Did you end up sort of doing your own thing, bro? Or
bruv, you just train, bruv. You train. When you train, bruv, if you get left alone. You know what I mean? Where over here, bruv, whether you're patched up, whether you're prospecting, bruv, whether you're a supporter or whether you're just a nobody. They don't tolerate anyone sitting around doing nothing here, bruv. It's compulsory. Training over here is compulsory. You either train because you want to, or you'll be training because you are forced upon it. You know what I mean? It's plain and simple as that, bruv. It's but if you just, bruv, I'm always training, bruv. One thing about me, I'm active, my brother. I'm like a bit ADHD. You know what I mean? Bruv, I cannot touch. I can stay off the chin up behind that for a whole year, bruv, and I can jump back on it like I never left it.
yeah, bro. Yeah.
Shit like that, bruv. So, and that's where now, bruv, I'm in this process of trying to develop some sort of, I guess, training, bruv. I guess if I want to help anyone, bruv, I have a real big passion for my training. I love it. Everything I do, bruv, I do a lot of training and things like that. I have all this home-built stuff that I've built around. It's just all things that we do in jail, you know.
The water weights and all that.
All of it, bruv. I've got it all. Got my chin-up bars. I've got it all out here, bruv. Water bags. So I've got all that, you know what I mean? Got me a few tractor tires, smashed with the sledgehammers, like that, bruv. So I guess I got 9 months, bruv, left on my home detention, and I guess I'm trying to develop all of this into my life before I get off home detention. So I guess it's a bit more easier for me than instead of starting it when I'm off, bruv, sort of thing. But I'm still, bruv, still trying to go through my recovery, things like that, bruv. I've come off heroin, bruv. I used to inject heroin, things like that. But that's one thing, bruv. I haven't done that for might be nearly 5 years, bruv. So that's one thing I can say I'm proud of. You know what I mean? And now I just got, you know what I mean? There's little things in my way now, bruv. Like I don't really have problems. I just, you know what I mean? I just got to sort out where I am, I guess, bruv. And
yeah, I mean, we all got to go through that path, bro. I mean, you don't do all those years behind bars, bro, and just come off scot-free, man. You know, it's a path, bro. It's a tough
Yeah,
path,
yeah.
you know. Like what sort of kicked it off for you, brother? Was it being in jail here, bro? That sort of just you were over it by that point, bro?
Right, it definitely was, bro. After serving all that jail in Australia to coming home, bro, and doing the same thing, bro. It's a repetitive cycle for me. You know what I mean? And it took me, bro, to get deported, come home to a place where I wished and prayed I'd never ever come back to start really realizing all of this. You know what I mean? But my kids are still over there. I got 4 kids, bro. I got 2 kids of my own, and I brought up 2 girls, bro, that weren't mine, but they're mine, bro. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
yeah.
I do have my kids, brother. So that's another thing I've got to realize, brother. I want to start being a parent again, because most time, brother, I see my kids growing up on our 1-hour visits on the weekends and things like that. You know what I mean? So missed a lot of their birthdays. So I got a lot of making up to do, bro, and I guess I've got to better myself before I can start helping others. So
Yeah.
I guess that's our journey, bro.
It starts from within, my bro.
Mm.
Brother, you know, honestly, man, I'm with you 100%, bro, on your journey, bro. You're looking good, brother. You know what I
Thank
mean?
you, my brother. Thank you.
You've got the shine in your eye, bro. That you've got a goal, mate. You know what I mean? That you've got a vision, bro. And as long as you've got that vision, bro, you can move mountains to achieve it, my brother.
Thank you, my brother. It's much appreciated from you, bro. And just, you know what I mean, things like this, you, bro, you know what I mean, you're just going to help me keep pushing just that little bit extra, you know what I mean? So,
That's why I get brothers on here. I swear, bro. Because as soon as I see like a brother like yourself, bro, I get them on straight away. Because I know that this will help, bro. You know what I mean? This will help you stick to your words, my bro. You know what I mean? Stick to your guns, brother.
Yeah, it's it, love. So, yeah, at the end of the day, it's up to us to pull our head out of our ass and start making those changes. But you got to be prepared for it too. You got to be not just you can't just want the changes. You got to be prepared for them. You know what I mean? Because it's easy to slip up, bro. Eh? Like don't get me wrong, bro. I'm on home D, bro, and brother, I still slip up. You know what I mean? So just shit like that. But I guess that's life. You know what I mean? How you bring yourself back up.
That's it, bro. It's all about how you get back up, bro. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah,
I was
yeah.
slipped up along the path heaps, man. You know what I mean? But it never brings me down, though. It never brought me down. You know what I mean? Because I just be like, I'm not perfect, man. You know what I
Yes,
mean? But
my
I'll
brother.
get back up
Yeah,
again. You know what I mean? It's all how you get back. It's all about how you get back up, bro. Don't blame yourself and sort of get into that pit, bro. Just keep soldiering forward, bro. That's the best way to
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Well, I mean, brother,
Exactly.
we're coming to the end here, my bro, of this yarn, bro, and I've loved having you on, bro, and having your insight, bro, into the different institutions and what you've been through, brother, and what you're doing currently. I'll leave the brother's socials in here too, man. Leave his TikTok, leave his Facebook and stuff like that if you want to reach
Yeah,
out to the
yes,
brother.
please, brother. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
and bro, do you got any messages, man, for any people you
Um,
might know that might watch this, bro, or any people struggling out there, for any brothers that are going through the same thing, bro?
if I was to say anything, bruv, to any of my brothers going through the same thing at me at this moment of at this point of time in my life, will be Cookie, OC Cookie. Bruv, you're forever loved, bruv, and just keep pushing along. He is one of our 187s, bruv. He is back now, and but that's just anyone, you know what I mean. If he's down, you know what I mean. Just keep pushing, you know what I mean. Keep pushing. I think we've all been through enough just to give up on ourselves. So you know what I mean. I hope next time, bruv. I hope next time, maybe in a year or a bit or something, bruv. I can take the time to jump back up, bruv, and sort of get to give a whole journey of to where it's all come. So
Oh, 100%, brother. I'd love
thank
that,
you,
my
my
bro.
brother.
I'd love that, my brother.
I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you for getting us on here, brother. We will always appreciate you, my brother, and keep doing you, brother. You're appreciated from a lot of people around the world.
Nah, shot,
You know
brother.
what I
Richie,
mean?
nah,
So,
means the world, brother. Means the world. But yeah, brother. I mean, bro, thanks for taking some time, bro, to have a yarn with us and that. Wishing you all the best, bro. Praying for you and that. And bro, if I'm ever out in the Bay of Plenty, bro, I'll give you a holler and we'll meet up for a coffee or something, brother.
yes, definitely, my brother. I'd like that. Thank you.
Peace, brother.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much.